All right. Well, we're here again. Second episode. Thank you guys for the support on the first one.
Yes.
It really went a long way. It went way farther than I thought it was gonna. And so we're here again, doing it again, second time.
Right. The response has been crazy. We appreciate all you guys. Make sure y'all keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting. We greatly appreciate it. I think we're really building something here.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do some good here. Yeah.
Well, before we get into the second episode, let's go ahead and do our usual tradition. Let's bow our heads, close our eyes, and let's do a moment of silence for those that are out there still suffering, for the families and friends that are going through it with them, and for the ones that unfortunately couldn't make it back. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, we're gonna get this episode kicked off with the sponsorship. Butthole Meth. Butthole Meth is brought to you by Mike Stew Boy O'Brien. We learned a lot last episode. We learned that people were smoking meth out of Mike's butthole.
That's crazy.
And I had a buddy who sent me a text, and he said, "Joey, I'm going to be honest with you. I had an under-over here on how long it was going to take you to talk about putting things in people's butts." And I had it at 30 minutes, and he's like, "You made it at like 24 minutes and 3 seconds. So you're welcome, And to that same vein, Mike decided not to wear his fucking bra on this episode, like his spaghetti strap bra. I guess that
G-string t-shirt.
Not laundry day today, or I don't know.
He's got clothes on.
Yeah, he's got clothes on today.
Clothes on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing his nipple.
Don't worry, we can still see the muscles, Mike.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
All right. Well, I think today we're going to talk a little bit more about the people who this affects. And I know a big part of the rehabilitation process is amends.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I just putting myself in y'all's shoes, going through your story, I would think that'd be incredibly difficult to run through that list, and it's got to take a lot of bravery. So I guess I'll start with this: is that are there people in your life that you had to make amends with that it was extra hard to do that?
I'll say for me, I was an avid. Throughout my addiction, I was an avid, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, mm-hmm. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And every time I said that, I would go back and do the exact thing that I just apologized for. So therefore, nobody took my word. No one took my apology seriously. Even the ones that did love me to the end. Mm-hmm. I forced them I pushed them away. Now, when I got sober this time, or when I actually finally got sober, got into recovery, I couldn't, honestly, from day one, I couldn't wait to make amends. I couldn't wait to say a real apology, because I knew from day one of this time, and I have 16 months sober now, I knew that I was gonna do this thing for real. I knew that my actions were gonna match my talk. And my walk was going to match my talk. And my talk was going to match my walk. And I couldn't wait to make amends. Now, I didn't make amends off the gate. That's not recommended. Not saying, you can't, mend some relationships in the beginning and initially. But I really was excited, because I knew that I was going to do something different. I knew I was going to be the man that I always aspired and wanted to be and knew I could be. And, I used to, when I would say those sorries in addiction, or during my active addiction, I would always say sorry. And I think I always say sorry so much is because I knew deep down inside, I really was sorry. And I knew that wasn't who the person I was, the way I was carrying myself, but just the way I was living. I couldn't break away from that. So it dictated my actions, and I couldn't make a change. But there was like an internal confliction every day of how I was living.
Yeah.
Because I knew I wasn't raised to be a piece of shit. I wasn't raised to steal from people. I wasn't raised to lie to people. I wasn't raised to hurt people. I was raised with morals, value, and respect by a hardworking single mom who fucking worked her ass off to give me a life that she never had. And I shit on it. And I was tore up about it. So like I said, when I started this process in recovery this time, I couldn't wait. And when I worked my steps, when I worked my program, and I evolved as a person, and I really took heed to the principles and the value system that I had always carried in my heart, I got to finally show that in this way of life. I got to finally showcase who I really am as a person. And so when I got to go make those amends, I don't think there was really a hard one. For me personally, I was ready to make them amends. Because I'm tired of being a piece of shit. I'm tired of being a bum.
That's good shit, man. I didn't. I'll be honest. When I wrote that question down, when I thought about it, I guess I didn't think about it that way. Like how excited you might be about making those amends when you get on that other side. I was thinking about it like, man, there was maybe somebody that I really did wrong,
Right.
and that there'd be a level of fear. But that's good shit, dude.
I'm
That's
not going to
real good
say
shit.
there wasn't a slight element of fear to some of them. But, and also the way I'm explaining my experience, from what I've heard and from what I've found, is often maybe not the experience for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a one size fits all thing. I just know for me to really get this time, I had to totally embrace the whole process, and I had to really visualize and take heed of the man that I want to be and the life that I want to live. And I had that vision from day one, and I didn't deter, and I didn't step away from it, not one bit. My head down, I was laser focused, and I really, really worked on myself in every aspect, so that when I did go say, hey, I'm sorry, and this is where I was wrong with you. Even if the other person did wrong to me, even if the amends that I was making, I could have felt justified with. Oftentimes that was in other relationships with a female. Because I've been in, like, I think I just touched on it briefly in the first episode. I've been in some toxic relationships. And oftentimes we either took turns being toxic, or we were both toxic at the same time. But part of the making amends is, I don't know what you did. All I know is what I did. And I'm gonna take accountability. I'm gonna take responsibility for what I did, and I'm gonna clean my street up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I had to forgive myself for all the wrong I've done, because there's some, like I said, there's some shameful things I've done. Carrying myself in a way, like I said, I wasn't raised like.
Yeah.
It completely contradicted who I really was inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's important too, because I know during my addiction, I can justify a lot of the ways that I treat people. It's like, well, I did this to you because you did this to me.
Yeah.
Right. Or, well, you were wrong too, so I can be wrong too. And I'm the same way. Whenever I would say I'm sorry, I really meant sorry. But I would turn around and do it all over again, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like I fuck shit up. And whenever I got out of rehab, before I went to rehab, me and my daughter, we were going back home for Thanksgiving, and we were on the way. My family was meeting. My family normally doesn't get together that often, but they were getting together. And I was like, well, cool, we're going to come down. And when we got to Houston, I was like, man, I know a plug over here. I can stop over here and get high for a little while, and then show up a little late to Thanksgiving. And I stopped with my daughter, and this isn't anything that I'm proud of, but I think this is something people need to hear, because I'm willing to admit it now. I wasn't willing to admit it then, but I didn't put my daughter first in a lot of ways. My drug addiction went first. Yeah. And that's shameful to say now that I'm sober, because it would never happen like that now. But we stopped, and we ended up getting to Thanksgiving 5 hours late. Right? That little pit stop took 5 hours until we got there. And by the time we got there, my family was pissed, blah, blah, blah. Well, then comes Christmas. We did the same thing, but we never made it. Like I did that same stop, but we never made it to Christmas. And my family, my nephew is one of the closest people that I'm closest to in my family. And my nephew called me and he says, you know, we're just tired of your shit. We're tired of you putting us through this. We're tired of, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like you're someone that I used to look up to. I don't even look up to you anymore. And that hurt coming from him. So of course I'm going to turn around and justify my actions. So I'm going to say some hurtful shit to him. And that's what got me. That was one of the things that got me into wanting to go into rehab and stop this, because I'd never thought that him and I would ever have any issues at all. And then I had to really look at, like, I kept my daughter from my family for Thanksgiving and Christmas so I can go get high, right? And before I went to rehab, I called him and let him know that I was going. And me and him made an amends. You're not supposed to do it that way, but I needed to get it off my chest and say, hey, you know, I am an addict, and you're right about everything that you said. And that was one of the easier ones for me to make. One of my sponsors told me that when you make your amends process, be ready, because some people might not be willing to hear it, and that's a scary thing.
Yeah, that was my like just thinking about it gave me anxiety, like putting myself in y'all's shoes.
Yeah,
You know, did I do somebody so wrong, and I'm taking accountability for what I did, and will they just reject it? You know, like you kind of have to be willing to take that slap in the face, right? I guess that was me just outside looking in. And
I think that's something you got to go in expecting sometimes, almost.
Of course.
Because we did a lot of damage, and some people, they've already heard our sorries so many freaking times that, well, hey, I'm really serious now. Fuck you. You were serious the last 10 times too, you know? So that was something like, you know, that was one for me. And then my daughter's mom, I don't ever call her my ex-wife, because I think she's way above that. My daughter's mom held this down for me during my addiction. Like, she covered a lot of my ground as two parents, and making an amends to her was definitely an amends that I needed to make. And I needed to let her know, like, thank you for always holding it down and holding me accountable, and thank you for helping me get to rehab, because that was the final straw, was her getting me in there. And she, you know, that was a good amends too, because she was like, you know, I just want you to be a good dad. Like, you're our daughter's superhero, so I want you to act like you're her superhero. And, you know, that was an easy amends. You know, thank God that she was willing to hear me, because I probably caused her more damage than anybody.
Yeah, I will say there was my last relationship I was in, where it was kind of toxic at times. Both of us at the same time, us taking turns. She ended up getting sober, actually. And if she's watching this, I just want to let you know I appreciate you. And I've told her this. And I tried to make amends to her, but, you know, she didn't want to talk to me.
okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. So I felt so compelled to make this amends to her, because one of my favorite lines to her, and the way she would respond to it every time, I live with this quote. I think about it often, because I would always anytime I would mess up with her, right? Rightfully so or wrongfully so, it doesn't matter. I would always say, baby, you don't understand. Those aren't my intentions. You know me. You know, if I was sober, I wouldn't do any of this. So that's not my intentions, because you know the real me. If I was
not the
just
person
sober,
I am.
I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
That's how I would think. And she would always look at me and go, Jacob. And I hated this quote back then, but it's so true. She goes, Jacob, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I used to fucking hate that quote.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, because it was right.
Yeah.
She was right. Yeah. Because even though I know, because I knew who I was inside.
Right.
I know how to carry myself. I know how to act. But I also love drugs. And when you love drugs at the time, it's kind of hard to, well, at least for me, it was hard to be a good person, because you're basically in a state of perpetual survival mode. Because I am now depending on something externally as a life source, as a source of happiness, joy, whatever, all those things. I'm dependent upon that. And if that's not in my equation of my life at the time, because that's my solution, then all bets are off.
Yeah.
And so when it came time to this process, you know, I'm thinking like initially before I want to make this amends, you know, like, you know, maybe I should, you know, there was like this aspect of like, well, maybe I can showcase to her like, you know, hey, I am changed.
Yeah.
Remember that guy you knew? I told you I was going to do this. I told you I was going to get this right. Look at me now.
Yeah.
120 days sober.
Yeah.
16 months now. 120 days sober. I'm sponsoring now. I worked all my steps. Like that was initially my mindset. And I was like, no, I'm just not time to make those amends yet. Because that wouldn't have been a real, I don't, the amends is not about showcasing, hey, I'm such this great person.
Yeah.
Now. Look at me.
Yeah.
Notice me.
Yeah,
I've changed.
There's an element of fuck you in that mentality, right?
Absolutely.
Where it's like, no, look at me now. I've got this and I've got that and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
That's not making that's not an apology. That's you kind of throwing a middle finger at someone. And I would imagine in that step, it is not about that at all.
And
Like,
it was also maybe also to a degree that for sure. And also, hey, you know, maybe we can go talk about this over. Maybe we can go get a
rekindle.
Can we go get the old rekindle? Hey, let's
the
talk
old
about this over.
flames.
You know, let's talk about this over sushi. You like sushi, right? I know you do because we went there many times.
Taking it back.
How about a California roll? No. But then I waited another couple months, worked on some more of my program, worked on some things internally, and I again. She has me blocked still to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's almost embarrassing to say this. There was a point where, in order to contact her, I had no other means to contact her. Right? So you want to know what I would do? I would have to Cash App her $1 and put in the subject matter, "Baby, call me, please."
oh man. That's
I would put in the subject line, $10 for unblock. to
That's the
unblock me.
cheapest form of fucking prostitution I've ever heard in my life.
No, like,
Bro, that
was the only way I could do that because I was blocked on everything: Instagram, Facebook, my real number. I even tried to create a text now number.
I'm embarrassed that I never thought to do that.
Dude, I used to have to fucking Cash App her, dude, so I could.
I
it
think-
worked.
You just gave a lot of people ideas.
Free
Just now.
game. No, actually, don't do that. That's toxic. That's toxic. That's toxic as fuck. So I was, for some reason, I guess she created a new Instagram page, and I found it. And
Of course you did.
You were hunting for this amends, goddammit. You were I'm getting this amends.
But no, and it was for real because and the amends I made to her was very genuine and it was very pure. Yeah, she did do a lot of wrong to me as well. And I don't, whether she admits to it, owns up to it or not,
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But I sent it to her. I said, hey, I just wanted to truly apologize for the way I showed up to you. For this, I did this wrong to you. I did this wrong to you. And then I ended it. And I said, I also just want to let you know that I'm grateful for you. And I appreciate you for coming in my life and the good things you did bring to it.
Yeah.
Because there was some good in that. A lot of good in that. And, you know, she gave me a quote that I can never forget.
Yeah.
Used to this day.
I use to this day.
Well, you probably could have also asked her to Cash App you back all your $1.
I may have got blocked again. I mean,
It was 27 $1 bills. Can you just send me back $27, please?
oh man, if you only knew the half, bro. Dude. Man. Well, I got some more things, but we'll have to save that for another episode. Oh my goodness. But no, shout out to her, man. If she's watching me, I just want to say I really do appreciate you. And I appreciate all the people that came across in my life. Good, bad, chaotic, toxic. I think there's value and lessons in every relationship experience. Now, today, I don't have to live in toxicity.
Yeah.
And I won't.
Yeah.
I won't. Because I have self-worth today.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be codependent on anyone or anything.
And so, you know, bridging off of that a little bit, how does that affect your relationships now?
It's a great question. So I still have a lot of character defects. I still have a lot of flaws. And I still have a lot of, I call it drug addict mentality, because I was a drug addict for 10 years, so I still think like a drug addict in a lot of ways, except now I'm able to realize, bro, you don't have to think that way anymore, or you don't have to live that way anymore, or you don't have to act that way anymore. So I'm able to recognize when I'm going down that path and I can pull myself back, or I have good people around me that I've surrounded myself with in sobriety that I can bounce ideas off of, and they can let me know, hey, you're out of line, or you're that's not the way that you need to be today. So that's what's different about me now, where before I didn't want to listen to anybody's opinion. There was only one track mind, and whatever I thought is what it was. So that's where I've changed a lot, and I'm still growing. I mean, I just turned 44, and I'm still a baby in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just now learning how to live life, and I'm still learning new things every single day on how to be a better dad, how to be a better boyfriend, how to be a better friend, how to be a better son, and I'm still growing in all of those things, and I've got a lot of making up to do. I mean, I say this about my daughter all the time. Like, I am still making up time that I wasted not being her number one dad that she should have had. Now today I'll put my dadship against anybody's dadship out there. But and then in those 6 years of my drug addiction, from the time she was born to when she was 6, I used to tell myself I'm the best dad out there. Fucking, I wasn't even close. But today I feel like I'm as good as I possibly can be. Tomorrow I'll be even better than what I was today, and the next day I'll be better than what I was the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know for me, in my experience, like I said, I truly embraced the accountability. I really worked hard to really grow and heal inside. So when I started to venture out and forge new relationships and, meet people, both friendships and romantically, I'm not going to lie. There was almost an element of, I was almost scared because I was trying to do things so perfectly and so right because I didn't want to hurt nobody in the slightest. I didn't want to wrong nobody at all. So I was like almost tiptoeing, like,
Like walking on eggshells.
Not was to a degree, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to live like this. I just didn't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
I've heard enough.
Yeah.
I've heard enough people. I don't want to hurt nobody no more.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was trying to be like, I don't want to say Mr. Perfect, but I was just like, I would only allow myself to get so close or them get so close. And I didn't want to hurt them. And I would make sure I would do everything to the T. Like, you asked me a question, and if I don't want to answer it correctly, I have to answer it correctly. I can't lie.
Right.
And honestly, I still strive to that to this day. I don't have the fear of like not hurting people anymore because I've worked through a lot of things, but I do still strive for perfection. I know I'm not perfect, but I will say today, I have the awareness. I am almost sometimes too aware of what I'm doing in my surroundings and my thought process. And I think also that's another beautiful thing about sobriety is my first thought sometimes is right, sometimes is wrong, but I'm able to filter that today and not just jump off impulse on the first thought, like, especially with women, especially with women. Bro, I was trying to hop in so many DMs in the beginning. Like, I'm so tired of being lonely.
What up, girl?
But then and I would do that and I would immediately feel bad, because damn, I'm not looking for a relationship right now.
Right.
But I also, I'm a man of principle, so I do want to hook up with you, but but also I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I'm trying to live a different way. So I don't hop in DMs today. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm not hopping in DMs. Thing like that. I really try to be a man of character. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying for me, I try to make sure my intentions, because I do live with good intentions today, except today my intentions are backed up with action and follow through. And I try to live by a code, live by a moral compass, live by principles and values. So You know,
Well, I think to your DM thing, I think there's plenty of guys who were not drug addicts who are hopping in fucking DMs. You know what I
There's
mean?
a lot of that going on these days. It's the most. Hey yo, girl.
Bro, I was with my nephew somewhere, and he walked up to this girl, and he's like, "What's your Instagram?" She gave it to him, and he just walked off. I was like, "Is that what y'all do these days?"
Yeah, dude. It's
crazy.
Like
it's
there's no
fucking
phone
weird.
number, there's no hey, how's your name, what's your name, nothing. There, I like, bro, if that was my time, bro, I would have been a pimp.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just got to get Instagram. I got to get everybody's Instagram. What's your Instagram, girl?
I never was the type to be on dating sites or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, I think I was like maybe 6 months into my sobriety. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's time to hop back in the old game now.
Yeah.
I'm healed. I am recovered.
Yep.
I want to bang something other than my hand. Like, come on.
Oh my god. Dude.
I just want someone to say I love you.
I know. I just want
Moron.
I want a live human being.
Moron. No, it wasn't just that.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was actually the least aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's that loneliness.
You know, no, it wasn't just.
No?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
a degree of that. But also, I was like, you know what? I want to show.
I wanna-
There was a lot of things to it.
Yeah.
For one, I wanted to showcase that I'm a man today.
I'm a better
Yeah.
I'm a
person.
real man today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to make up, not necessarily make up, but I want to like, for all the shitty times I was not a man, or I was toxic or a piece of shit in relationships. Now I can finally show up as a real man today, and you know, stand on business and principles and be there emotionally.
Yeah, kind of show it off. Like you have this new shiny toy, right? Like
Right.
it's like I want to kind of
Yeah,
spread it
so
out
there was
there
an
a little
element
bit.
of that. It was also like, yeah, to a degree, loneliness as well. Also like, you know, we all want to be loved. You know, there was an element of that, and like just wanting to like find someone to build with and like, you know, really do this thing. And
Yeah.
I remember I hopped on the dating site. I was like, it was so weird, dude.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I
like-
can only imagine, man. I've never been on one. It's the
Try doing it sober and in recovery. Like I went out with this chick who's a normie, and we went to like this bar down in Barton Springs in Austin, Texas. She's like, "Is it okay if we go to a bar?" I'm like, "Sure," because honestly, it doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
I go wherever I want because I've surrendered and I'm that comfortable with my sobriety and I take pride in it. So we go there. You know, I'll order a cider. I said, I'll have a water with lemon. I'll have a water with lemon.
yeah.
So we're sitting on this. We're sitting at the picnic table there, and we're talking. And she goes, "So tell me a little bit about your story." I said,
Okay.
Buckle up, baby.
So I gave her the edited version to a degree. You know, maybe PG-13. And I told her a little bit, and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, that's so sad." I'm like, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
If only you knew the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so it's like, how do I navigate dating and like, I guess we're kind of going to a different topic, but like,
Yeah.
navigating, you know, dating and sobriety and recovery. And it's like, okay, so I've tried dating normie chicks. That's what we call them, normies. People that don't have an addiction.
By the way, my mom really wanted me to rename this Two Addicts and a Normie when she found out because she hates the fact.
not gonna call
my
my Joey a
girlfriend,
moron.
yeah, like, I don't like
That's
that you're
my
a moron. Like,
Only
my
I can
girlfriend-
call Joey a moron.
Yeah, my girlfriend too. She's like, I don't like it. I think we need that. So, you know. But anyway, back to you.
So it's like, you know, you try to date a person that's not an addict or not in recovery, and it's like, yeah, I'm not saying it can't work, but and it has worked for a lot of people. Sure. But for me, sometimes I feel like even just at the surface level, there's just like this disconnect. I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's just like you couldn't possibly understand what I've gone through. Even if the sympathy is there, like how could you didn't live how I lived.
It's probably like when I've always heard like addiction is a sickness. And like if somebody had cancer, I'll feel bad for them and I'll give them sympathy, but I don't know what they went through.
Right.
You know, I didn't know what those chemo treatments went through, or this or that, or you thought you weren't going to make it, and then you know what you had to tell your family and stuff like that. It's probably a lot the same where addiction is a sickness, And if you've never had, like, people used to always say, why don't you just stop? Motherfucker, if I could, I would.
Yeah.
If I knew how, I promise you I would. I mean, I've been fired from my job 4 times because I could not stop. And people would, it was crazy to them that that you're going to get drug tested this week and you're going to get fired, but you still go get high. Yeah, because that's all I know. Like, that's what I know. And I'm just hoping that I don't get drug tested.
Yeah. And there's those 2 famous words that we love to use. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I got to get high.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, but I don't care. Fuck it.
Yep.
I know, you just shared with me a struggle at work and I kind of witnessed this happen too, where life doesn't stop happening when you're sober. And I stayed close enough to you to know that you were always sober because I kind of saw the tale of 2 Mikes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I know that with life hit you, whatever happened and you had to take some days off, it was always a thought of, is Mike back on the fucking shit again? Like,
Yep.
And to be fair, to all of those people, and I've had this discussion with you before, but it's like, this is what you did to yourself.
100%.
Right? Like, this is so
it's warranted.
yeah,
It's very warranted.
It's warranted, but it also can't feel fucking
It sucks.
good,
Right?
Like, and especially when you're still
you're
in the
doing the
battle
right shit.
of all of this, So I mean, have you had anything similar?
As far as like in the workplace?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Well, let's see. I couldn't go to work unless I was high.
Yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know the feeling.
now my thing was more opiates, heroin. So I was a chef for like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I work hard, especially when I was on heroin. I did work hard actually.
Yeah.
And I was on time unless I didn't
Yeah.
unless the plug was running behind or I had to go get something before I came. But I tried to stay prepared. I tried to stay prepared. But I was a chef for like 10 years. So in the restaurant industry, if anyone has ever worked in the service industry, it can be a very toxic party.
And I think you should. I think everybody should. To be fair.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. For
yeah.
sure.
Like,
it's a very good basis for like just a building block of, work ethic, just interpersonal, relationships. It's just, yeah. So as you can imagine, I've pretty much blown every job I've ever had during my addiction, but, I would go to work, right. And, I would, I'm on the line cooking, right. And, it'd be like 6 p.m. and it's a dinner rush. I'm like, oh, I know we're about to get busy, so let me go ahead and hit the old bathroom break.
Yeah.
I'd walk off the line and I'd be in the bathroom for like 15 minutes, doing what I do. And I'd come back on the line and they know what happened.
yeah.
And sometimes that would go good. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it did go good.
Yeah.
Other times there was times where I took that bathroom break and I came back and maybe I was a little too fatigued or maybe the dope was a little too strong for me that day. And I've literally nodded out in the middle of cooking a burger on the grill. And I've had my manager run because my face is about to fall onto the grill because I'm nodding out. Or I'm, like working the fryer and
Yeah, that's not a good place to
Just
be
going in
fucking like looking like Snuffleupagus,
Yeah.
where you're like fucking,
yeah. You got servers like, hey, I think one of your cooks is about to fall in the fryer. Yeah.
yeah.
Fry J. Klein. It's on the
Yeah.
menu. And you know what? I will say every employer gave me chance after chance. That manager that pulled me up after almost fucking burning my whole face on a flat top grill. Just go home. We'll see you tomorrow. Or Jacob, what are you doing, man? You need to get it together. You're a great member of this team. Like, get it together. Get it together.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had jobs fire me and then hire me back. You're going to be clean this time, right?
Yeah.
And I would be like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I get that first paycheck, gone.
Yeah.
And they're like, I even had a coworker like till he told my boss one day at this job the restaurant I was working at, he's like, he told me, he's like, you think Jacob's gonna be okay? He goes, yeah, until he gets his first paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh, first paycheck, Jacob.
And it was true. I've had another job where this was back in 2021. This is my last job that I had that I was in active addiction before I just gave up on the workplace and just stuck to the streets. And man, I'm so grateful for this place. I'm so grateful for this place. I became homeless because I got kicked out of my sober living that I was at the time. And I became homeless, and I was working this place, and I still kept my job because it was a really good job, man. And they really, really took care of me. So I was homeless, so I didn't want to lose the job. I wanted to keep it. I tried to make using being homeless and working a strenuous job. It was a warehouse job for a distributing company. And I was like, all right, I think I can make this work. Because like I said, I'm always determined. I can find a way to make this work. I'm going to use successfully work, functioning addict,
Of
like
course.
we discussed in first episode. So I have nowhere to go, right? So I tried wandering the streets for a couple nights. That's when I would do meth. Because I have a thing where, like, even when I was homeless, I would do meth at night because I was not that I was like afraid, but I was afraid to sleep around anybody else, especially
Yeah.
people that I don't know. And so I would have to. I just wander the streets all night, just walking around.
Yeah, bro. So
All tweaked
So,
out.
so
to say you can't be productive on meth is just absolutely false. You know
I
what I mean?
let's
Like,
just say I got my steps in. Yeah, I got my steps in. So I'm at this job, right? And I'm
13
like,
miles last night.
and like I can't work this job and like be up, down, and then on like 0 hours of sleep. So I'm like, all right, so I got to sleep. So I started sleeping behind the warehouse. There was like a taco truck on premises, so I would sleep like right in between where the building was and the taco truck. Yeah, the good thing about that is I'd get to wake up and get tacos. So
Yeah.
I was right next to it. And I would go there, and they eventually found out because they would see it. I would have a backpack with me, and they're like, they could tell that something was wrong. So
Yeah.
the GM came up to me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on with you? Let's have a talk." I'm like, "God, all right." So my cover's been blown. They know. He goes, "Listen, man, I used to suffer from the same problem." I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I know what you're going through." I said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm a drug addict." He goes, "Yeah, I'm sober, 5 years." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I've been sleeping behind. I'm homeless. I got kicked out of my sober living." He's like, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Work here the next couple of days, and you can stash your stuff in my office, and I'm gonna work on getting you a place for treatment." I'm like, "For real?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." I tried working another day. Well, I couldn't stay high, and I'm also operating forklifts and cherry pickers and stuff like that. So he's like, "You know what? Just for the next couple days, you can just sit in my office." So I sat in his office. The guy got me fucking food, fucking Torchy's tacos. Like, he fed me. He let me. Just really took care of me, man.
That's awesome.
And he found me a place to go to treatment. And we found the place, and the funding ended up becoming an issue because I didn't have insurance yet, because I hadn't even been in this job 90 days yet for my insurance to kick in. As some of y'all know, I'm a music artist. And so there's a great foundation in Austin, Texas called the Sims Foundation. It's for, professional musicians, music artists. We reached out to them. They paid for my whole treatment stay, 30-day treatment stay at Recovery Unplugged. And my boss told me, he's like, "You go, and when you get out, you'll have a job as soon as you get back." And I did it, completed the 30 days. I got out. I was sober maybe 2 days. And this job that I was working at was a distributor for convenience stores and gas stations here in Austin, Texas. And I ended up meeting another plug a couple days after I got out. And, well,
Damn.
so what did I do? The man that gave me all that opportunity, that really took care of me and looked out for me, I went to the cigarette area of the job, and I loaded my backpack up with maybe, I don't know, 7 cartons of Newports, 7 cartons of Marlboro Reds, And I took them to my plug. And they saw me on camera.
Damn.
And the security guard is like, hey, stop. We need to look at your backpack. And my manager and also the GM who helped me out ended up coming outside and seeing this. And the security guard's like, wait, Jacob, we need to check your backpack. I'm like, fuck. I took off running. I took off running. I'm sorry. I said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah, dude. But you're, I know I touched on it a little bit, but.
Yeah, so with work with me, like I said, I've been fired 4 times, and I would come back, they would hire me back, and I would stay sober for 2 weeks, maybe a month, get a few piss tests in, and then start carrying piss on me everywhere that I went. Like, I'm going to keep piss right here. I know that my body temperature will keep it warm enough. I'll heat it up in the microwave before I go to work.
That's real shit.
This is some real shit, bro.
You become a pee expert when you're an addict.
Man, I'll tell you, here's
know how to
a good
store
story.
it,
I don't
keep it.
condone these stories, but here's a good one. So they pulled me to the side to go do a piss test, and I didn't have any pee on me. So I was like, all right, I was on the phones. I said, let me get off the phone with this customer. So I had one of my buddies go and piss in a medicine bottle. I had a vitamin bottle, right? Had him piss in a medicine bottle for me. And then I took the vitamin bottle and I went and heated it up in the microwave for like 8 seconds to keep it hot. And then I put it here because I knew by the time I got to the place, it was going to warm up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So I put it here and I went and I passed this piss test. Perfect. So I come back to work the next day. And one of my buddies at work, he calls me and he says, hey, man. He calls me on my extension. He says, hey, man, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He said, you staying clean? I said, fuck yeah. He said, well, just so you know, if you're heating up anything in the microwaves, they got you on camera. And I said, what? He's like, yeah, just to let you know. So figure out how to fucking deal with that. So, bro, like, I get off the phone. I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, I am fucked. So what I did was I had these gummy vitamins.
Yeah.
So I went and heated those up to melt them. And then I would get carrot sticks and eat them like that, right? So when they pulled me in the office, this is where this drug addict mentality goes. When they pull me in the office and they're like, we got you on camera heating up piss. I'm like, no, you don't. You have me on camera heating up gummies because I do that every day. Go look at the camera. So they went back to look at the camera, and sure as shit, I'm heating up gummies and eating them out of there. So they couldn't. So I got away with it on that one. It only took about a week later before they got me again. But yeah, that's the type of shit. Like, who thinks to fucking do that?
No, you don't.
I love
Dude, I'm eating
I
gummies,
love the
motherfucker.
commitment, dude. Like you got,
Right?
you're fucking
crying.
eating
I'm
melted
crying.
gummies
Yeah.
to hide your piss.
Yeah.
in a microwave at work.
Like, most people would have said, fuck it, I'm caught. Not this motherfucker, man. I'm getting out of this son of a bitch.
Oh my God, he said he's eating gummies
With carrots.
Dude.
Horrible. Horrible, by the way. They were like, why the fuck would you do that? And I said, because I don't like the taste of them, so I got to heat them up and melt them and then eat it that way.
Oh my
Like,
God,
I'm eating gummies.
dude.
I'm on an 8-ball of meth every day. Am I making sure that I'm eating my fucking gummies?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I
Vitamin
was on
gummies.
meth, I couldn't eat or drink.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine eating that.
That's how they would always know that I was high, because I would have food on my desk, because I would always bring food in
And it did get
to make it look like I'm eating.
And
but
not
then I would
just
heat
food,
it up
though.
13 fucking times, and I would never eat it.
Not
So
just
they would know.
Not just food though. Like I mean, you would have fucking like blue syrup to pour
Yeah.
on like a fucking sugary
I used to
cereal.
put Skittles in my
and
water.
I was like,
So I
"Fuck,
made it
dude,
Skittle
what are you
water.
doing?"
They would know, like, you're on some shit right now. You're eating Skittle water
Dude,
again.
what the fuck are you doing, man? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's but to answer your question from earlier, like, whenever I got sober, anytime like some fuckery goes on, like if I'm, show back up from work late, or if I get sick, like
Yeah.
I still do have to deal with that. Like,
Yeah.
are you using again?
yeah.
And at the beginning, I would be pissed because, motherfucker, I'm sober now. Treat me like I'm sober.
Yeah.
But I would forget, like, no, there's 10 years of me ruining this relationship to where anytime something comes up like that, it's warranted. That's what I've caused. That's the damage that I've caused for myself, to where, are you using again? No, I'm not using again. I'm really actually sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, during my addiction, man, I would call in sick for work all the time. I would show up late. I'd show
Dude,
up late.
The best excuses I've ever fucking heard in my life. Like multiple, but I was honestly like some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. Like
Bro, I would pull my car in the garage and take my tire off.
Yeah.
And take a picture of it and say, I had a flat tire again. I'm changing my tire. I'll be there in 2
Yeah, this
hours.
was the third one in a week.
Yeah, that's like the third time this
he went.
week.
So he went through that much effort.
Yeah.
To fucking
Instead of just going there, I'm like, dude, I'm still watching porn. I'm not leaving this porn. I still got about another hour. I'll be in a little late. I had another flat tire.
Yeah.
Or like I would tell him like the apartment gate isn't opening.
That was my
the
favorite one.
electricity's
This
out,
one,
so it won't
right here.
open. So we're all stuck in
Yeah,
here. We're all stuck.
everybody's stuck in my apartment.
My
I
garage
can't-
won't open because the electricity went out. Like your garage, you just pull it. It's not that fucking big of a deal.
I remember that they knew.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And they were on the phone with you, and he was like, "Well, Mike, I mean, you can go into the garage and you just pull the thing, and it turns it into a manual." And you were like,
Yeah,
you could hear it get quiet for a second.
That's broke too.
And then
broke
it was
too.
crickets, and he would just, and then you would just hear,
Yeah.
and then you would hear. This was
This
my
is an old
favorite. He was
model.
like,
Yeah.
"Well, the electricity went out, man. So at the front gate, it won't open. Nobody can get out." And he was like, "Well, Mike, you can just go over there. There's a cotter pin, and you just pull." Like,
Yeah.
this dude had the solution for it all.
My supervisor, he said that in the morning meeting, they would make bets on if I was fucking coming in late or not. And like whenever it was like, oh, what's he saying now? He's got another flat tire. Does he have this or that? One of my supervisors the other day sent me a write-up from 2016. That's when my daughter was born. And it was about 2 months into her being born. And he sent me the write-up, a screenshot of it. And he said, man, I'm so proud that you've changed so much. And what the write-up said was, the meeting started at 8:15. Mike came in at 8:30. And then after the meeting, he fucking disappeared for another 55 minutes. And then I'm still looking for him right now to give him this write-up, is what it said. So my comments, being an addict, of course, I'm going to defend all my actions. So I'm like, well, I came in late because my daughter's sick. This wasn't true, right? My daughter's sick. She has 102.5 temperature. And I had to leave the meeting after the meeting to go call her mom to find out if we're going to the hospital or not. All that's bullshit. I just showed up late.
Yeah.
And then I was in the bathroom smoking again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did.
You should have put that on the write up.
Yeah, I
You
was.
should have wrote in that.
I was
you should
getting
have wrote
high.
that in. Yeah, it was like, look,
Like I'm tired of lying.
I had to pull this bag of meth out of my butthole, and then I had to go get high with it in the bathroom for a little bit. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bathroom breaks is what always caught me. Like, why are you using the bathroom so much?
All the
I'm
time.
like, dude, I ate something bad.
Crohn's disease. You see the
Crohn's,
commercial.
dude.
You see the commercial. Like, I shit a lot. Like, what do you want?
and then when they'd pull me in the office, I would always get offensive. Like,
Oh, for sure.
Oh no, fuck y'all. Y'all are trying to
fuck
fire me.
y'all.
Y'all just don't want me here. It was always like it was never. Something we learn in recovery is cleaning your side of the street, like what you said.
Right.
And that was a hard part for me in the beginning because I was like, how come I have to apologize to you, but you don't have to apologize to me? Why do I have to eat shit, but you don't have to? Because I know you did me wrong too.
Yeah.
And you learn in recovery that it's not about what someone else did.
Yeah.
It's about what you did.
Right.
And you have to clean your side of the street. And it's not for them, it's for you. You
Right.
clean your side of the street and everything else just plays itself out.
Yeah, I think those are. I mean, and just hearing your guys' stories and hearing when you were in there, I think there's a lot that could be taken out just for a normie like like myself.
Yeah.
With those steps, I think it could probably do good for everybody to work their steps because at the end of the day, we all have our own shit, right? Like I mean, I eat nicotine patches
For sure.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
I think that they have a unhealthy relationship with.
No, I was telling my sponsor that actually a couple months ago. I was like, I think everyone should work the 12 steps because at the surface it's addiction, but you're learning a way of life and how to live through values and principles and applying those in real life and replacing, because even if your thing isn't drugs, maybe it's sex, maybe it's food, maybe it's Diet Coke, maybe it's you got to get the newest Corvette or the newest fucking car, or maybe it's shopping or or maybe you can't put down the tub of ice cream, you got to whatever it is. Like when you have this void in your heart and you're trying to stuff it with external things, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only thing that can lift that void and fill it whole is a spiritual experience and basing your life off living our principles and values and morals, and living to be of service
Yep.
to others.
Yep. My buddy Kevin says, trust God, clean house, and be of service to others.
Yep. Shout out Kevo too.
Yeah. Shout out Kevo.
Good guy.
Great fucking guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. Those are three things he always says. Trust God, clean house, and be of service to someone else.
And I'll also share one more Kevo tidbit. He told me, I think this.
We need to have Kevo on here.
No, we will.
We will
Kevo,
have
if you're
Kevo.
watching.
Kevo,
I know
you're
you are.
coming.
You're coming on. Big old buff guy, man. Cool as hell though. I credit him, and he knows I credit him. I share this all the time because I recover out loud on social media. He said a quote to me that stuck with me throughout my sobriety and really like made me think to like really give this a shot and go all in. I was like 32 days sober, and we sit down to talk one day, and he goes, Jacob, just give yourself to this program. Just give yourself 1 year. He said, if your life doesn't completely change in 1 year, I will refund you your misery. I was like, damn.
Refund you your misery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was
all
I
back
was
to
like,
you.
wow, that's profound.
Wow.
He's like, I will go buy you your first drink or drug. I said, damn. Okay. Well, fuck it. Let's all right, let's give it a year. Well, after about 4 or 5 months, life got really, really good. And let's just say they can keep that misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this way of life.
It's crazy how quick it changes. I remember my first AA meeting. This girl sat next to me, and she was a year sober. And this was my first. So I went to rehab 13 days sober. So this was my first. I was like on day 13 or 14. We went to outside meetings in rehab. And she sat beside me, and she was so fucking happy. You never meet those people that are just happy about life. And when you're misery, when you're
Yeah,
in
when you're
misery,
miserable,
when
it's
you're
the last
miserable,
motherfucker you want to see.
you were like, fuck this person. They are fake as fuck. And she sat next to me, and she was getting her 1 year chip that day. And she was like, oh man, your life's about to change. It's going to be so great. And I wanted to slap the shit out of her. I was like, bro, this is like going to be miserable, right? This is like, what you're telling me is not true. And then as I got into it, I really wouldn't slap the shit out of her, but that's what I was thinking. Like, you're fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, you are insane. This is a cult, whatever.
Very figuratively slap the shit out of her.
And
Like,
you know, it's crazy because I used to ask God for things, but I never had a relationship with God. Like, I would ask him when I needed shit. Like, I got pulled over. Please don't let me get arrested today, right? Please don't let him find this meth in my butt. Please don't let him find my pipe. Like, but it was always foxhole prayers. It was never like just having a relationship with him. And that's something that people tell you is you got to find a higher power. It doesn't matter what it is. Just whatever your higher power is. Some is God, some is other things. Some think it's Harry Potter when they talk about HP. But I thought when they were talking about HP, they're like, we talking about Harry fucking Potter? But it's crazy how quick your life changes around once you start doing the right things. It's insane. Yeah. Like, it is like 2022 was my best year ever. 2023 was even better than that. And 2024 is going to blow both of those away.
Absolutely.
yeah, man.
Yeah. And for me, like, I will say, like, before I started working any steps, now my experiences, I've shared this plenty of times. I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to quit using. I was all like I said, I'm determined to make this work. That's the thing.
I'm going to be the example.
I'm determined. I don't care. Homeless or not, I'm going to fucking I love using. I love the effects produced by heroin. I do. And I didn't care about the consequences either. Until I started messing around with fentanyl around April 2020, 2022. Because my heroin supply started running out, and somehow it became fentanyl only. So I said, fuck, I got to do something. So I'll take the fentanyl, sure. So I started doing that every day. And then towards the end, it was about end of September, early October. All right, you know what? I think I'm tired of this because I keep on getting kicked out of sober houses. I must have been to 13 sober houses in from 2021 to 2022. Like, kicked out of all of them. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be homeless anymore. I'm getting tired of doing this. Like, I'm 32 years old now. Like, it's time to get this together. Maybe I don't want to use anymore. And so I tried taking a couple week break, try to, half-ass get sober. After like 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? I just want to do it one more time. Just one more time. Because I start getting that itch, like, I kind of want to feel that. I'm feeling good right now at these 2 weeks sober, but like, one more time. And so I go meet my guy. And one thing about fentanyl, it's dangerous even if you have a tolerance.
Yeah.
But when you take a break for any period of time, it lowers dramatically every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back, I get the fentanyl, do it. I overdose in a Valero bathroom on Breaker and 35.
Mm-hmm.
I get found. I get Narcaned. I'm like, okay. I'll share this in depth at another episode, but fast forward, I end up overdosing 5 times in a 2-week period.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like brought back to life 5
Yes.
times?
Yes.
Wow.
God damn.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yes.
Wow.
2 of them came back to back.
Like same day?
No, like the next day.
Oh, fuck.
And 2 of those times I vomited in my lungs, like crazy. So it was the last one. I was just like, damn, dude, maybe I can't make this work. See, I never thought I was going to die from opiates, right, or addiction. I thought I was invincible. I could, because I used to, the delusion has got so big because I can walk through any hood, any block, usually be okay. I haven't really got arrested, and the times I did, I never really got caught with anything. So it's like whatever, or I was able to throw it out. So it's like homeless, okay, whatever. So I got tired of it. It just, for some reason, I don't know, it was like reality and time had like hit me smack dab in the face like any time before. And I'm in the hospital after the 5th one, right? I'm in there for like 2 days, and I'm laying on the hospital bed, and I'm scrolling through my phone. I'm scrolling through my phone. I'm on Facebook because what else do you do when you just overdose and you're in
For the 5th time.
Let's hop on the old news feed. What's going on out there? Good morning,
Still alive,
America. So I'm scrolling, and when I tell you, every scroll was like a Rolodex of what the fuck are you doing, Jacob? I'm seeing my friends in the music industry. They're shooting music videos. They're in the studio. They're, chasing their dreams.
Right.
I'm scrolling more. I see friends I went to high school with. They're taking family photos. They got the cute dog. They got the wife. They got the little baby in tow. They got the house in the back. Okay.
Reality hit.
I'm scrolling, and I land, the last picture I land on is a picture of my family. And my mom had posted on Facebook. It's a picture of all my immediate family that lives here in Texas. And they're like taking like a group family photo. Obviously, I'm not in it. Not just because I overdosed and in the hospital, but also because I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
I wasn't welcomed. I didn't even know about it. And I stop at that picture and I look at it, and it's like my jaw just dropped. I'm looking at it so attentively, and I'm like, oh my God, how did this happen? I'm looking at him, like my mom, my stepdad, my older brother. I'm like, how did y'all get so old? Where did all the time go? I could have swore we were still in 2014 and it's 2022.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. And like this time and reality just smacked me in the face. And I'm like, all right, it's November 2nd, 2022. I'm 32 years old. All my dreams and goals have been to the wayside and thrown away. Everything I've ever wanted has been thrown away. Friends don't fuck with me anymore. Girls want nothing to do with me. Relationships have been soured and spoiled. Family doesn't want me except for my mom, but she only at a distance. She'll only see me if, I beg her, hey, will you please come drop me off some food underneath the bridge? Please, I'm on Romberg and 35. It's Thanksgiving and I'm hungry, and will you please drop me off some leftover Thanksgiving? Which she did. True story. And I'm just like, I got to do something different. I want to be something for real. I'm tired of being a fucking junkie, man.
Yeah.
I got out of that hospital bed, and I'm like, damn, where am I going to go? Because I had just gotten kicked out of a sober living, because the last one I did was I I overdosed in their bathroom. So I get out of the hospital. I had just enough money because I still had a job at this time. And I go and get a dingy motel, and I pay for like 4 or 5 nights up front. And I laid in that hospital bed, or excuse me, that motel bed for 5 days straight for 23 hours, and I didn't move. I withdrawed the whole time. And I just knew I had to make it through those 5 days so I could get into sober living, so I could pass a drug test, and then I could get into sober living. And that whole time, the only thing that remained consistent was I had a vision of what I truly wanted my life to be like. I had a vision, and I wanted to be something, and I wanted to do something different. And I've stuck to that vision, no matter what.
Congrats, man. That's fucking wild, that you overdosed on fentanyl 5 times, like to death, like brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
So you literally had to die 5 times to get there. You know, that's another way to kind of look at it. It's a little morbid, but I mean.
And the crazy thing is, like, each time after each overdose, I thought it was going to be different. I thought it was going to be different.
Of course you did.
You know what? That overdose was a fluke.
That was
It was a fluke. It was an accident. I did too much.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I just did a little too much. A little too much.
Yeah.
Let me just do a little bit less. So I did a little bit less. And then I said, you know what? I can't inject the fentanyl anymore. I got to build my tolerance back up. So I fucking hate snorting it because I love the needle. So I'll snort it then because I got to get that feeling. I got to get that feeling. I got to get that feeling. I got to fill this void. And so I'm like, all right, I'll just snort a little bit. Even when I snorted it, I'm like, fuck, still died.
Every time you're like, I'm just doing it wrong. Like, that's the fucking thing.
And then
I just have been doing fentanyl
Do a little
wrong.
less.
And I did even less of a line. And that was the fifth time. I was in a McDonald's bathroom on Runberg and Lamar. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
Fuck, dude, that'd be a
Closing
shitty
time.
place to die,
Closing time.
Yeah.
Do your last line of fentanyl. And it was.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I just did the smallest amount. Like, I was like, dude, I'm just going to do just a little bit. Like, I'm talking a grain.
Yeah.
too. That's wild shit, though. I mean, that
And it
fentanyl
fucking
thing.
took me out on the ground right there. I threw up in my lungs. And then the fucking same EMT who was from the other previous 2 times said, dude, you were white as a sheet. He said, when are you going to get this, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I mean, you might be right.
Yeah.
I might just die from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would have been my story. My story would have ended of me dying in a fucking McDonald's bathroom.
On Runberg, too.
On Runberg.
Fuck, dude.
Man, that's a rough place to go.
Yeah. No, that is not a great. I don't want to die on. I don't even want to go live on Runberg.
I'm not gonna
Let
lie,
alone
I do
die.
love Runberg.
Yeah, come on.
I love Runberg. Shouts out to the Berg, man.
Love
I love people
over there.
Runberg, man.
Got a lot of good people over there.
There is, man. But it also is grimy over there. That was for a long period of my addiction. That was my stomping grounds. I was homeless on that block. I've lived in every sober living on that block pretty much.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is when you're in that, you meet a lot of other people in your game too, but you meet good people still.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good people that suffer from this. And like, that was one thing for me when I got out of rehab. I had to separate myself from a lot of people that I used to hang out with.
Yeah.
And I let them all know, like, I love you. I love you. I just got to love you from a distance.
Yeah.
And if ever there's a time where you want to get help, I'll be the fucking first person to help you. But I just can't be around you while you're doing what you do. And I got a buddy, his name's Jacob. Shout out Jacob, I love you. He reached out to me for my birthday. First person to message me for my birthday. And he said something to the effect of, I really miss hanging out with you. I miss all of our talks and I miss everything. I'm so proud of the journey that you're on. I just can't go on the journey with you yet. And I respect him so much for that. But anytime he's ready to get on this journey, let's fucking go.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
I mean, at the end of the day, both of you guys had to find that journey really on your own. Like, right? I mean, I know that you had external motivations, I'm sure. Fuck, dude, dying. Like, that's a pretty external motivation, but
You got to get it sometime.
but you gotta,
Yeah.
you have to find it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like if somebody's not ready,
That's one of the
not gonna
hardest
figure
things
it out.
now is when you try to help other people and they're not ready. And I have to go back to my own self. Like when I wasn't ready, nobody could help me. I had to be ready I had to get to that point to where I'm tired of living this life, because it didn't matter what you put in front of me. If I wasn't ready, I'm not stopping.
right?
Like it didn't matter. My daughter didn't matter. My relationship didn't matter. My fucking friendships, they didn't matter. None of that shit. My job didn't matter. I had to find it on my own. There's a rapper. His name's Doobie. You ever heard of Doobie?
Of course.
I love Doobie.
Love Doobie.
Doobie has a song. It's What Am I Gonna Do When the Drugs Don't Work?
yeah.
Fucking great song. And that was a point that I got to where drugs at one time worked, and then it got to a point to where they didn't work for me anymore. And it's a scary fucking spot when you get to, because that's your last straw. It's like, fuck, what else am I going to do? Like, this is what's been working. It doesn't work anymore. Am I going to go find a different drug and get even deeper into it? And for me, it was, no, maybe it's time to stop. Yeah. Maybe I've had a good run. Nothing that I condone, but I've had a run. I've been lucky. I've been blessed. God stuck with me the whole time. And maybe I had to go through all that to get to where I'm going.
Yeah.
And let's go share this story and help other people know that there is hope. There is life after addiction, and it's a fucking great life.
Yeah.
But they got to find it on their own.
100%.
You know, we all. I mean,
That's why I recover so out loud.
Yeah.
I post every time I get I've shared my story as vulnerable as I can. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't limit anything. When I hit my milestones in sobriety, I post my thing.
Fuck yeah.
I got drug dealers on my page still. I got people in current addiction on my page still. I got people in recovery on my page. I got people that are not at any of those things.
Yeah.
yeah,
And every one of them have supported, messaged me saying how proud they are of me.
Yep.
And I don't know. What we say, is it going to make a difference? I'd like to think so in some way, whether we're planting a seed, whether we're legitimately changing lives through our words. I believe we are.
100%.
yeah. Me too.
You know, they say you'll stop when enough is enough, when you've had it. And that's true. However, I also believe that you don't have to go through the extremes that you and I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I tell everybody, man, use our story as
Use
a
me,
blueprint.
use us.
Use us as a blueprint. Don't wait until you're 42 years old to figure this shit out. Fucking figure it out when you're 20, 21, 22. That way you can fucking go kill this thing called life.
And find yourself a fucking
figuring it out.
moron.
Yeah. That,
You know?
that helps.
That helps. Find
And
yourself
laugh.
a fucking moron.
You gotta laugh about
I
it,
gotta laugh about this shit too.
You know, I make a lot of jokes about my addiction because I think I can.
Yeah.
Right? I think that and I love what you just said, how you recover out loud, because I do as well. You know, at work sometimes I say you don't have to tell people all that. No, but I do.
Yeah.
But I fucking want to.
Yeah.
Because I want you to know that if there's a lot of people that suffer that we don't know suffer.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that if you are suffering, you can come talk to me about anything.
Yeah.
Because in my addiction, I used to be proud to be an addict.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm proud to be a recovered
Yes.
addict.
Yeah.
100%.
Who uses his voice, uses our voice, our platform, and I promise you, we're gonna use it.
Hell yeah. Well, look, guys, we got to wrap this shit up. Young Joseph is giving me the finger back there, telling me to stop it. So I'm
I
gonna.
swear, this time goes by so quick.
Yeah, I
Goes by
know,
quick.
dude. But another great topics, man. Thank guys. Keep
episode.
liking, keep watching, keep spreading the word, please.
Keep subscribing and keep sharing.
keep
We're going to
hitting the
release
button.
every Friday, right?
Every
Yeah,
Friday.
every Friday. Look
So
out for it.
Look out for it at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
7 p.m.
We
7
also got
p.m.
coffee mugs and shirts.
We
Hey,
have coffee
yes.
mugs and shirts. Not for you, for us. Because we're not that fucking rich. But if you keep hammering that goddamn button,
Yep.
maybe we'll get some merch out here for you guys too, okay?
100%.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.